Yeah, I think in terms of the economic impact of those natural catastrophes, you're perfectly right. The amount is still increasing. We see increasing impacts of these events. What we need to do is really partner with our cedents to see how we can close, how we can narrow that protection gap, provide coverage. I think we are overall in a good state. Following a couple of tough years for the reinsurance industry, following this soft market, I think we've reached a state now where prices are adequate, where terms and conditions are adequate. So we are there for our cedents to provide capacity. We have a strong balance sheet, and we are really fully committed to narrow that protection gap further.
You may have noticed there has been a political change in the United States. Well, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, we'll come to that. But a big change in politics in the United States. You talked about the need to increase our efforts to combat climate change. There is a grave concern that actually the US president-elect is going to pull the US out of the COP process as well. You are one of the biggest reinsurers on the planet as well. What damage could that do to the aforementioned need to combat climate change?
I mean, we are following the developments very closely. We keep really working, committing to our ESG, to our strategy when it comes to reducing impacts from climate change, both in our business groups, in property casualty, in life and health, on the investment, on the operational side. We are operating on a worldwide basis, as you know. We are watching the development in the US quite closely.
Okay. But then let me just follow up again. I know that was the answer that you want to give, but there's a comment now, and this is a Bloomberg columnist, John Author, someone I actually like reading quite a lot. And he said this following this morning: Trump will bury ESG, but it was already dead. The green investing revolution never stood a chance in the US once ensnared by the culture wars, but that wasn't the only cause of death. And the article goes on as well. Do you categorically disagree with that, Clemens?
No, I think, look, in general, I think it's very clear, and we've talked about the devastating pictures of natural catastrophes. And I think there's without doubt that, and it's proven scientifically, that it's without doubt that we as human beings are doing damage to the planet. And I think we need to do everything to mitigate those impacts from that. And again, we will do everything as a reinsurer to narrow that protection gap. I think we all need to do more when it comes to reducing the impacts of it, when it comes to flood protection, et cetera, et cetera. And ESG is clearly one part of it. I think what has caused some frustration is probably the level of regulation that comes with ESG. And these regulatory reporting, et cetera, which puts burden on some of the companies. I think we need to find the right balance between having regulation and, it's not all about the amount of regulation. We need good regulation and not just, an increasing frequency. I think that might have caused some frustrations here and there, but I think there was without doubt that we need to do more on ESG.